Welcome back again. This time, let's do a repot and a mount of two totally different orchid species. First off, Dendrobium tetragonum, a species from down under that occurs in nature in New South Wales and northern Queensland in Australia. I had this plant for almost 2 years now, and it seems to be doing fine in a pot, growing in a medium bark mix, so I need to unpot it, check it, and I will mount it. It's a weird small to medium sized species with bulbs that start off slender, and while they mature they get thicker and take on a weirdly square shape. They have 2 or 3 leaves at the top of each bulb, and the flower spikes emerge from the top of new and older canes. I must apologize for having the filming angle a bit wrong, but you'll get the idea. When out of its pot, I can clearly see that the root system is not optimal and many roots have died. Also, the plant came apart in 3 pieces. Now whether this happened naturally or there were 3 plants in the pot, I don't know. I had not taken it out of its pot since I bought it. Since I have 3 smaller plants now, I decided to pot up the smaller piece and put it in sphagnum moss. This creates a higher humid environment in the hope it will take off. The moss is pressed in quite tightly, this way it won't stay wet for too long. The other 2 plants I will mount on a piece of driftwood. This species is a cool to intermediate grower and in nature always grows in a sheltered position, so it must not be put in full sun, otherwise the leaves will burn and the fine roots will easily dry out. It likes to grow under humid and even wet conditions. Using sphagnum moss gives you 2 advantages. 1. The humidity around the roots and the plant stay higher for a longer time. And secondly, sphagnum moss has a natural disinfectant. Before I mount the plants, I put a bit of sphagnum moss on the driftwood, and although there are several dead roots, I do not cut them because it will make it easier for me to secure the plants. And when the plants are in place, I cover the root base with a bit more moss. Then I use some cotton string to secure the plants and the moss on the mount. the finished mount. The driftwood can either stand on its own or can be hung up if necessary. And I hope to give you an update in several weeks when it hopefully starts growing new bulbs or maybe shows his spidery flowers again. From South America, this is Epidendrum quisayanum, and it gets its name from the location where it's first found, more specific, a village called Quisaya in Ecuador. There it grows in the upper montane cloud forests on the western slopes of the Andes. This growing environment is rocky, very humid, and there it grows in rocky mossy crevices at elevations above 2000 meters. Although it is classified as a cold grower, I've been growing it intermediate to cool for the last 2 years, and it grows wonderfully as long as the growing media and the aerial roots are kept humid at all times. I never let it dry out. It's a small species with stems not longer than 30 centimeters or 1 foot, and it sends out new stems from the base of the plant continuously. It doesn't have a specific flowering season, and it blooms on and off all year round. While on potting, you can clearly see the wet bark that slowly starts to disintegrate, so repotting is urgently needed. It's a real messy grower, but I can easily separate the stems so I can clean up the old or dead roots. I grow it under lights and cool in winter, and in summer it's outside, sheltered from heavy sun and extreme weather conditions, together with my Sarcochalis and Neophinegia. Although it can take quite a bit of light, you must be careful because the soft leaves can burn easily, and when the leaves get a purplish tinge on them, then it gets just the right amount of light. I will pot it up in this high blue bonsai pot to give the roots more room to grow and keep the plant stable. I will be using a mix of small and medium bark, and in between layerings I will add a bit of sphagnum moss so the humidity in the pot and around the roots will constantly stay a bit higher. This way I won't have to water it every day. I decided to pot up a few pieces separately and start a new plant. The finished repot, all ready to start growing messy again and produce its lovely fuchsia pink flowers. Thanks for watching. More unusual orchid growing videos next week.